Tonight on Furniture Film Classics.
What'll it be? Partner?
Did you have cream white Concord?
No.
Beer.
You didn't use your coaster.
Establishing shot. I'm Ed Feldman.
And I'm Joe L'Erario, and this is Furniture to Go.
And it's the first of our two-part bar show.
The bar show, the home bar show, and we're here at Quality Zook and Woodworking.
Well, really, he wants it to say Zook and Quality Woodworking, but he made the sign a little funny.
We don't have the heart to tell him, but all America will laugh. Let's go in and see him.
We're inside. Here's Scotty Zukin.
Hello, Scott.
Hi.
How you doing?
Great.
You know, all great masterpieces start with plans, and you have some too here. A
Here they
design.
are. As you see, there were a lot of changes in the construction indicated by the red line, so I just made it all happen.
It's like
That's technical
it's
enough.
like our show. It's not written, it's rewritten.
He's a designer, man. That's why he's got the Philip Johnson glasses.
Are they Corbu glasses?
Yeah, Corbu and
Hey, I can see with them.
Well, here we
Johnson
come to the
Stone.
bar now. We got the front bar here.
Right now, some of this is salvage and some of this is fabricated.
The center area with the lion's heads is antique, and the back bar is an old mantle that I converted into a mirror frame.
And that's all oak.
Right, and then I replicated all the moldings around the bar and took some moldings off to do some pieces on the back bar.
And the top, we got the
Top will be mahogany with a mahogany rail.
Yeah, it's not attached.
So you got a
yet.
curved, you got a radius end here, and then
Right.
it'll run all around to the brass, all around.
Right, they'll be-
framing in the brass. Insert.
Exactly.
It's going to be in somebody's basement. Oh, they must love to
Believe it or
drink.
not. And up top on the back bar, you can see the rosettes and the dental molding. The dental molding is going to be duplicated and run around the entire top of the bar. Also, the rosettes on the bar, the rosette bar.
She wants us to be on our show.
Yeah, she's a big girl. The rosettes in the old days were probably done on a lathe, hand done.
I have a rosette cutter I put on my drill press that I can show you a little bit
Oh,
later.
good. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll show that. And just as Scott has matched old and new, fabricated and antique, we're going to be matching only color.
We're going to be matching the color of the old to the new.
What color do you want, Scott?
An antique oak.
An antique oak that'll match this existing.
I have an Uncle Oak.
match this oak back here. So he's matching, we're matching.
But first, we want to see you cut some of those rosettes, and we want to see some of that dental molding being cut. So
And don't
follow
forget,
us.
you can order these plans from Norm Abram, which is irony to me. And now you're going to see why they call it the dental, because it looks like teeth. What did you just do here, Scott?
Well, I cut a 3/16 inch groove in the wood. The keyhole here automatically lines it up in the increments of 1 1/8 inch.
So if you didn't have that, they'd be all different sizes. Then they'd look like my
and I
aunt's
can
teeth.
just cut this all day. I don't have to think and measure each time.
And what a great job that would be.
And whenever you cut, make sure you wear glasses.
Let's go see the rosette maker. You know, you look like the mantis, Scott.
The color's off, though.
Okay?
Go ahead.
All right, start to cut. Pull it up, Scott.
Oh, boy,
The
isn't that
manual
nice?
braking system for our
Yes.
drill press.
And then they
There
have
we
to be
go.
cut out, right? So they'll come out looking like...
Pretty much so,
that.
yeah.
And then what do you sand them down to get them nice
Right,
and flat?
right,
So you
exactly.
pull them on a sander.
Some kind of gothic gambling chip, I think.
Well, Scott, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well,
we'll
thank
be
you.
back again.
We're going back to the shop now. We're going to finish it. You're seeing it here, but we're going to finish it as soon as we get back to the
We
shop.
have to go. This is too much like work to us. Just move that.
Yep, it got the finger stuck in here now.
Get out the carbon dating.
I'll just do it in here. Hi.
I'm going to be Crazy Guggenham.
Do you want to be Crazy Guggenham? Okay.
Hey, Joe. Those wedding bells.
You didn't let me sing us a song, Craze.
Those wedding bells are breaking up.
Well, we're ready to stain.
And Scott brought us almost all of the bar.
Although we can only fit this much on the set, so we're going to get staining
I know
right
we
now.
should have used Radio City for this particular project.
Now, we matched the stain with using a Van Dyke brown and some naphtha and some special walnut that's already bought in the can in the store, special walnut stain. Added some Van Dyke brown and some naphtha, and we matched it to those ugly-looking under cabinets, which are Formica, but we matched the
You know,
colors.
I like working off of contact paper.
Yeah, it's great. Well, it gives you a definite color.
I'm going to do the back bar, which, as everyone knows, has the mirror in it. And see, this is what the mirror
Also
will
got
look
the
like.
booze in it.
See, the mirror.
Now, I
Get
always
it? That's
put
me. I'm holding
the,
a brush.
The roll of towels under the arm. See, it's very good and convenient.
Or you
And
can put them right down there, and I've got a sash brush for dabbing in corners like
this
that.
is unusual because I'm working opposite of what I normally work. And in a situation where you got a bar like
Usually
this,
works drunk.
you have, well, I used to do a lot of drinking, working on the bars in the day and then drinking at them at night. It was a great profession. Now, when you got a place like this where you got flat surfaces in the inside, so you don't screw yourself up, the pattern is you paint all the inner panels first.
And you know what I like? As I'm going around the bar with a brush, I'm kicking up all kinds of dust, which means that nobody wiped the bar down.
Well, that's also another good reason with oil stain. Leave that dust in the bar. When
I'm not cleaning anything.
When you paint the stain on, the dust will actually fill the pores of the wood, and you'll actually get a smoother finish.
Yeah, see, all these screw-ups are carefully planned, my friends.
But when you're doing varnish, you want a tack rag.
So you put some stain on with a brush, and then you follow with a paper towel to smooth and eliminate any giant rivers.
Put as much
like
stain
the
on
Ure.
before you wipe off, remember?
No, but you said that was only for the new parts. I'm doing the old parts
Oh,
now.
okay. You go right ahead.
And you can work as messy as you want, because every place...
Especially if it's not your place, you know.
Right,
you can
because
just
every place that the stain
mess up.
falls is a bar.
Now, when you wipe, get most of the excess off. And a lot of people have this kind of effect on a finished product. I've seen it. Smears. They can't get the smears. That's because you keep wiping with the same rag. But if you take another rag, you'll eventually get the bulk of the stain off and learn how to go side to side until there are no smears. Oh, it's a wild pace here.
Hey, wait a minute, I forgot my mustache. There you go.
There you go.
See, I have to trim it up. Oh my God, now I'm drooling like the crab monster. You know,
Got the
we
stain on, and this is the older wood here. And you can see that there's a difference in color. The older wood's got a much more richer color than the bottom. See the baseboard here? Baseboard's got more of a pale, flat look.
Right, that's my new
See?
wood versus my old wood.
Look how pretty the old wood is here.
And look how ugly the new wood
And the
is.
new wood is very flat. So for that reason, after we get done staining this, we'll throw on a coat of orange shellac. That'll give it a little bit of luster. Then over top of that, we'll throw on a second coat of the same stain to only the new wood, I'm sorry.
And the other thing I'm doing is I'm not wiping off the stain from the new wood as quickly as I am from the old wood.
Because you want it to absorb a little bit more.
Exactly. So I wiped very quickly right after dabbing on the old wood, but this, I'm going to let it sit a little bit to
When you
soak in
have-
some more.
When you have a situation like this where you have these moldings, a lot of times when you wipe the molding like this, to show you a demonstration, you'll see there's still stain that's stuck in the grain there. So if you take a sash brush like this, regular sash brush, and get in there, you'll be able to pull that stain out and then wipe it on the paper towel of your choice, a soft one or a little rough like this. Always keep
We
this
never
under
do
here.
anything nice and soft.
See?
We always do it nice and rough.
So now back to staining.
And next we're going to put on a coat of shellac.
Orange shellac. Time
Hey.
for shellac.
Schlacking. Why do you shellac? You got to shellac between stains.
We're going to
Why?
seal the stain, the first stain that we added, we applied to the wood with shellac, orange shellac. See, it's not white shellac. White shellac is bleached. This is orange.
And if we added the second coat of stain right on top of the first coat of stain, they'd mix, they'd be mud, so you got to put a sandwich in between.
So you put it over the stain like this, and you can see it's adding a little bit of an orange color. And when it dries, we'll sand it lightly, and then we'll apply a second coat of the same stain on only the new wood. The old wood will
have to fend for itself.
Well, the old wood is on the side here. If I match this, let's see, paint a little bit on here, on the old wood. You can see the difference in colors. So once we shellac all the new wood, and then apply the other stain on the new wood, they should come up to snuff.
Of course, you can always send for 10 cents to Merkle Press on why do we shellac.
And you know, when you buy shellac, it comes in a 3-pound cut. That means...
This time they're going to get it.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Well, people keep asking us, what's that? What's a 3-pound cut? What a 3-pound cut means is 3 pounds of dry shellac flakes have been mixed or dissolved in 1 gallon of denatured alcohol. Now, if you mixed 5 pounds of shellac flakes with a gallon, you'd have a 5-pound cut.
Is there any such thing as a 5-pound cut?
Well, if you buy shellac flakes, you can mix your own. And you can make a said 5-pound cut.
And who doesn't want to try?
But most of the cans you find in the paint stores are 3-pound cut. So what we've done is we've taken 1 part of the shellac and about 4 parts of alcohol, and that is our wash coat.
And here to explain further is Professor Erwin Corey.
However, and a lot of people say, well, you can shellac and stain, yeah? And then you can put a top coat of varnish. Yes, you can, because oak is rough enough. It's got enough texture so that it's not going to fill it in. If you did it with poplar or birch or maple, you couldn't add as many
And the good thing about shellac, since there's alcohol in it, you can coat over top very quickly because it'll dry. But after the shellac dries, we will have to sand, and then we'll be putting the second coat of stain on. And come back and watch us and get sick.
Shellac is still my favorite of all finishes. So next, sanding and matching the stain.
I knew I heard that somewhere. Stain number 2.
But we shellacked everything, then we sanded lightly. And
theoretically.
Now we're going to put the second stain on, because if you see up here, Jose,
there's old wood.
Well, if you see the old wood right here, there's the pretty color of the old wood. And now you go over the new wood, which is the baseboard.
And you have to darken the baseboard and the other new pieces of wood so it achieves the lovely old world look of the old world wood.
And we're going to do this, and then, and then with the shellac over top of it, it will kind of match everything together.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Of course, we're following with the towels always.
Well, if you wanted to, and another thing that we could do, but we won't because there's no time, once you get this stain on and you shellac it, let it dry, shellac it, put a coat of golden oak over everything. That'll give you that added sheen.
I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, he never comes anyway, does he?
He doesn't return my calls.
Not a Martin, not a Charlie.
So here, my vertical old elements have a lovely dark color. Here's my new color. So I'm going to have to put an extra one there, an extra layer of stain, and follow it with the paper towel.
Well, we just won't say sheen anymore. How about that?
No more sheen.
Never again. How to get this?
See, I just darkened half of this. First stain, second stain. It's like 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians. Paul's letter to
Wait, now you're talking about leather.
No, no, no. First, Paul's letter to the Corinthians. Dear Corinthians, I am fine. How are you?
There was a guy named Montalban.
Driving a strange-looking chariot with a small man. Wanted to talk leather.
Now, you know we're going to throw a monkey wrench into the entire works here and tell you about another little bar. That's
Another little bar.
It's your bar, right?
It's my bar.
It's a little lonely bar.
It's a martini bar.
And it's an old bar.
It's a 50s bar, and we're going to do something completely different with it.
Just to get away from the grand scale of this, we'll go to something
Very tiny, very plain, very small.
Now, that's not anything to show the children.
just adjusting.
A little bar. A little martini bar. How
That's
do we
not a
know?
radio, in case you were...
No, but it's made by the people who made the big jukeboxes of the 40s and 50s.
Beer.
Not the Camden Brewing Company, the Rock-Ola people.
The Rock-Ola.
And this is not just any kind of a bar, it's a martini bar. We'll show you when the glassware goes in later why it's a martini bar.
This belonged to the guy from It's a Wonderful Life, right? It was Martini's place. Yeah.
Another martini from Mother Cabrini.
Martini's bar.
And then what we'll have to do is take everything apart because we're going to strip it, and we don't want to put stripper
And then
on all the metal bits.
we're going to bleach it because it wants that bleach blonde look. Now, when you take hinges out, remember you got three screws in here. Take the top and the bottom screw out. Leave the middles for last because otherwise you're fighting gravity. See, and these are mortised right into the edge of the cabinet. So that's going to help you. And the door's not going to fall off. If it was just butt hinged right onto the edge, then you'd have a lot of problems.
Beavis and Bud.
There we go. See that? Now, what is this wacky stuff in here?
Well,
Oh,
that
and
comes
here,
off, too. That's where the
See?
glassware fits.
This is where the long screwdriver comes in handy.
That's why I gave it to you.
You get the screw right in there.
And check these strange hinges out. When you didn't want a piano hinge on a long door, you would put in a hinge like this. And this is...
They're called strange hinges.
They're called strange hinges, and they're mortised in as well. And you just have to work them out slowly.
Now,
And it's a good thing these are in good shape because they don't make these much anymore.
the martini bars they don't make.
Never.
If you go into South Philadelphia, you see some bars in like the furniture stores, and they're quite gaudy and ugly. Real
But this is a nice, simple
high
line.
finishes with lots of elephants.
We're going to take the bottom off because the bottom platform is just screwed into the bottom of the bar.
Now look, you see what you got here? You see
Yes,
that?
it's a book of
That's-
match.
No, that's a pretty finish. Right behind here where that shelf was, that's the original finish on there.
And we're not going to strip the interior. We're going to start stripping the bar now 2 different ways.
And Ed's going to put the remover on, and I'm going to use the lovely little cabinet scrapers, just to show you a couple ways that you can strip.
Well, sometimes you don't want to strip with a chemical on a veneer that you might think might be lifting because it gets underneath there, and we have some of that problem.
Well, whatever you do, whether you scrape or whether you put the remover on, the one thing you're doing is you're preserving the under color of the wood, which has aged over years. If you took a sander to this, then you would sand the finish off, and you would also mar the aged color of the wood, and we don't want to do that.
And see, this edge there is black, and we're going to duplicate that black.
Only
after-
it'll be blonde. It'll be blonde and black.
blonde and black.
Yeah. Now here's the scraper. This is a cabinet scraper, and it's carbon steel.
Which is RuPaul.
Yes, that's
We're going to
true.
call this RuPaul.
The
bar.
RuPaul cabinet. And the cabinet scrapers have the little edge on, remember, and you can burnish with chrome. This is a tool. And you can
Yes, it
actually
is.
turn the edge and give yourself a little burr.
It's a ratchet, a Raymond. This is a
And
ratchet
when
tool.
when you scrape, you see what happens. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is old shellac. Yes, I can smell it.
And you know,
It smells kind of like church. You know,
votive candles.
most
Don't
churches
you know those are candles for Jewish dead people.
are filled with shellac. The finishes in churches.
RuPaul's
Old
autobiography. She's a hell of a guy.
Now that is pretty walnut, and you can feel, I can feel, because you are on TV.
They're far
You can
away.
feel the thickness of the finish. But always remember to clamp down whatever you're trying to scrape.
So after this strips, and we'll use the chips, of course.
We're going to be bleaching. Bleaching with hydrogen
Bleach.
peroxide.
2-part bleach. The kind you shouldn't use on the clothes. Write to us.
P.O. Box 53240,
Philly, PA.
191053240.
We're lonely. I'm getting this little bar, right?
This is your bar.
And let's do a really good job.
It's all exploded now. We
And
stripped it down, we washed it clean, and then we sanded it with 80 grit.
but we didn't strip all of it. Inside here, we left the old finish on. Why? Because I want a two-tone. Number 2, who has time? And number 3, we've got the decal, the Rockola decal, that would go bye-bye if we stripped.
So outside you'll have a nice blonde, inside a brunette.
It's the story of my life.
Now when you bleach something, you got to make sure that all the stripper's been removed.
And
that
redhead in the garage.
That means sanding. If you don't sand, the bleach is just going to beat up just like water on a windshield. So we sand it down with 80 grit, and it is going to accept the bleach. See? Look.
The one thing we're not going to bleach are the insides of these front doors.
You see the bleach is foaming. This is hydrogen peroxide bleach.
Don't you need eye protection?
I'm going to put this on. Official space helmet on, Captain Video.
I'm going to put my helmet on, too.
Because I don't want to get this in my eye. If you do, it's really nasty. But you see it foaming up? That's actually pulling the color out of the wood.
It's foaming action.
And you got to be careful because you can spray this all over the place. It's just like water, you know.
It bleaches better than regular household laundry bleach.
But this is only good if you want to take absolutely the color out of the wood.
Remember, this is the A and B bleach. This is the 2-part, and you have to mix it.
We put the whole bottle A in here, the whole bottle B, and now we'll go to town on it. Now, a lot of times when you have stubborn stains, you may have a ring, an ink ring or something.
Are you sitting in my tin can?
You can take a wire brush like this.
Wire brush.
And you can go, and this will open the pores of the wood
and allow the bleach to get in.
And allow the bleach to get in
where
better
it's dark
than if it wasn't scrubbed with a brush.
You're not painting a masterpiece here.
So I'm going to scrub here.
It's a lot like tear gas exercises in the Army.
And then I'm going to brush some more. And that's what you call bleaching.
The other thing we're going to do later is we're going to duplicate this stripe in black, but don't worry about it because we're going to bleach here anyway.
Oh, it's fascinating. All of America's tuning in to watch us bleach.
I thought they're tuning in because the show's almost over and they want to watch the next thing on.
It's an animal show. Oh, we're an animal show, too, come to think of it.
We didn't take this bottom part apart because, well, it wasn't in the budget, let's face it. So next time, we're going to be working back on the big bar and putting on the top coat.
And until then, I'm Joe L'Erario.
And I'm Ed Feldman. Please.
Be nice. Be a furniture.
Guy's a card. I love him.
The whole deck.
Coming up next on TLC, just stay nailed to that chair because Joe and Ed are back with good cheer and bad jokes on a second episode of Furniture to Go, showing you how to bring out the best in antique pieces.